Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Kim Duramo. This is MindBody TV. Welcome to the Facebook Live, or if you're listening to the podcast, welcome to the podcast. I'm always really honored to share this with you. This is our session on end-of-year depression, how to overcome depression, specifically this all the heaviness that can come up with the end of the year. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a physician who has really just revolutionized my whole practice of medicine to gear toward, instead of fixing problems, looking at what is blocking health and assisting people using mind-body medicine, connecting within themselves to release the blockages to health. So people with chronic illness, chronic pain, depression, anxiety, chronic fatigue, autoimmune illness, things that it's like, why isn't my body getting better? To really get to the core of what's going on, what is blocking health, and allow the body to flourish, allow the body to receive what it needs so that it can move through things instead of trying to avoid them, instead of trying to fix them. A very, very different way of approaching the body and approaching health. I've been using mind-body medicine for myself and in my practice for over 20 years to overcome a chronic illness myself that I experienced when doctors said, hey, this is what you're going to have to do. This is not going anywhere. You're going to have this lifelong. And I just knew that wasn't true for me. I knew there was some deeper truth that could allow my body to heal. And really through applying this inner connection and moving through what we're going to share today, my body healed. And I've seen thousands of people experience the same thing, even when they thought, I've tried everything, there's nothing I can do, and they've worked really, 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 really hard. There is something else available for all of us when we can go deeper. So that's a little bit about my background. I can be found at drkimd.com. I founded the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine to share this with other doctors, other practitioners, other healers, coaches, nutritionists, things like that, to assist them in using this in their practice as well. And it's been pretty extraordinary what has happened in my world and in those people's experience to begin to integrate something deeper. So let's go and see what's here for us. I want to welcome you to the live cast, and let me just kind of see if you have questions, comments. I'm going to pull up all the comments so that I can participate with you and you can ask questions and I can answer your questions here. Are you experiencing that heaviness at the end of the year where, it's like the disappointment or the grief or, there's a lot of things that can come up when we're not complete with things. We're entering into a new year, and are we ready? Are we ready for what's to come? Are we ready for what we're leaving behind? A lot of times people are ready to, I'm going to make all these New Year's resolutions, and I want to have this, and I want to have that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And they go into this high gear, and it's like, okay, great. Maybe you get through January, and you go to the gym every day. And then what slowly happens is you sink back into your regularly scheduled program, and it's like, oh, another disappointment. I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve this year. And I would invite you to something very different, especially with the end of the year where it's time to let yourself really release everything that you're ready to leave behind. So you kind of enter into this new stage in a very different space, especially if you're sick, if you're ill. Can you leave behind your old approach? Can you leave behind your old beliefs? Can you leave behind everything you've learned about what you think needs to happen for you to be healthy, about what you think needs to happen for you to be happy and vibrant and fulfilled, so that you really do come in to a new level of receiving in the next year? What happens a lot of times at the end of the year is we have these expectations or disappointments or griefs, or it's like the anniversary of something, or you've lost someone or something, or some hardship that's happened this year or in the past. Hi to everyone who's joining. And it's like, whoa, this is the heaviness of the year. This is the dark time of the year. This is when we have the shortest days of the year, and we're asked to really enter into the deepest spaces of ourselves. What do we do instead? No, we have to avoid that. We have to avoid that. I'm going to drink heavily, or I'm going to use an antidepressant, or I'm going to, do whatever I can to not meet those spaces. And it's mostly because we haven't been assisted with that. We haven't learned how do I meet those dark, deepest spaces of myself to allow them to complete so that I can be renewed, I can be healed, I can emerge into the new year in a whole new space. So that's really what this episode of MindBody TV is about. And I want to just say hi to everybody here who's coming in, and welcome. And I certainly welcome your comments and questions. I've got them pulled up here on my screen, so I'll be checking into that. So I want to ask you that. Are you experiencing that heaviness or that darkness or the depression, or what's coming up for you? Hi, Christine. Great to have you here. What's coming up for you around this end of year? What's coming up around the holidays, around family, or around any of this? One of the things we're really invited to participate in at this time of year, or any completion where it's like, oh, it's my birthday, so I'm leaving behind being 40 and now I'm going to be 41. There's a way that triggers in our system. It's like a new world, the world of being 41. Or you have something happen in your life, someone dies, someone's born. All of these allow us and invite us to experience completion so that we can move forward in a new space. So Nicole says, so much heaviness and darkness and fear and anxiety. Beautiful. I would invite you, especially since I know Nicole has been in this community for some time, experiencing these themes over and over. I would invite you to really let yourself go there with these. This is a huge opportunity to allow a completion with this to whatever degree is ready to happen in a way that you've never experienced before, so that there's more freedom in your life. So often we're like trying to be free, trying to be happy, trying to be happy. But what actually creates that, because it gets created automatically, is when we go into the darkness, when we can go deeper into the stillness. I mentioned a few weeks ago in a video that I posted in the MindBody community that my daughter was studying different cultures and how they celebrate the holiday, and studying about the winter solstice. And there was the yin-yang symbol. And she said, oh, the white part is the good part and the dark part is the bad part. But then there's a little bit of good in the bad and there's a little bit of bad in the good. And I said, well, that's a really beautiful thing to look at. And it's actually not just about good or bad. It's about opposites. It's about dark and light. It's about, masculine and feminine. And, she's 5 and she was really able to understand some of what the deeper underlying meaning of that symbol is, and thought it was really special. And when we think it's good and bad, it's like, oh, this is the unwanted thing. Oh, this is the wanted thing. When we apply that to our health, it drives us freaking crazy. I got to eat this. I can't eat that. I should do this thing. I shouldn't do that thing. And I got to keep myself in control. And I'm living in duality. What that symbol really invites us to is, can I embrace the darkness fully as I expand into the light? Because we all want more joy, more freedom, vibrance, health, love. And those things are always in store for us in greater and greater amounts. We are expansive beings by nature. But what you resist persists. And so if you're resisting the darkness, the bad thing, or like Nicole's experiencing the heaviness, it blocks out the light. So how do we embrace that? How do we embrace the darkness when it's so heavy, when it feels like it will devour us, when it feels like it will be inescapable? Janet is saying, can you clarify the difference between receiving and allowing versus victim mode? Especially with long-standing depression, it can be confusing. So one of the things that we can do as we embrace darkness is, I receive all things in grace and ease. When we live in duality, it's like, I just receive good things. Only good things come to me. Only good things. And there's this like tension around that. That dynamically blocks health. It shuts down your immune system. It shuts down your digestive system. It does not allow you to receive. So what is receiving, especially when we talk about yin-yang? We can receive the light through the darkness, and we can receive and allow the darkness through the light. We don't have to omit one or the other, or I'm only going to have these good things. I have a person in my life who's always like, well, tell me something pleasant. Tell me something positive. And doesn't really want to go there with himself. It's like it's too heavy and it's too dark and it's too scary. And so he lives in this little tiny corner of himself where it's got to be positive and it's got to be good and we're going to talk about good things here, and really, really uptight. Well, that causes problems in your health, in your body, in your weight, in your immune system, at every level. So Janet, receiving and allowing is the complete opposite of the victim state. And the victim is, I can't have this thing. Oh, I'm allergic to that thing, so I can't ever have that. And I live not from choice. I choose not to have gluten, or I choose not to have dairy. I'm going to honor my body with this choice. We live in victim. Oh, I can't have that. My body's betraying me. Or, there's nothing I can do. My body won't get better. And we live in this victim. Instead of receiving it in grace and ease, receiving maybe it's a diagnosis or a condition that the body's in right now, can I receive it and respond accordingly? Or am I going to go into victim with like, oh, well, I can't have this or I can't do that, and live as if I'm not at choice? Gail has said, can you address any information you have on anorexia nervosa? So we won't specifically go into any particular medical issue in this podcast, in this Facebook Live today, but since you are in one of my programs online, we could certainly go into what it is you're actually experiencing or what's coming up, and I can address that with you privately. What we're talking about here, though, can help with releasing any resistance to being in the body, because a lot of times anorexia is like there's so much discomfort and there's so much fear and there's so much resistance that being in the body, like embodying the physical form, is really uncomfortable. It feels like being in jail. And it's like, I don't want to feed that. I don't want to nurture that. I don't want to anchor into that. I want to escape that. And so we're trying to kind of control our situation so we don't really have to embrace things fully. And obviously that, leads to death in so many different levels, but there's no wrongness to it. When we think, oh, why won't this person just, move beyond this, or don't they see they could die? And it's not so much the fear of death, it's the fear of a real full embodiment, because there are so many deep energies we're being asked to meet, especially right now on the planet. And so that's where this like embracing the darkness takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of willingness, and to be led and guided and know there's something on the other side. There's a reason I'm moving through this darkness to expand into more light. There's a reason I'm being asked to go deeper so that I can receive more. That really gives us a lot of encouragement to go there for ourselves instead of avoiding, because it's so easy to just avoid, and we think, let me just get out of this. Let me just feel better. Let me just find the right drug or the right diet or the right thing, and then I don't have to feel what I'm feeling. And it can create a temporary fix that keeps us coming back. I'm going to do another program. I'm going to learn a new thing. I'm going to do a new diet. All right, I'm geared up. That's what a lot of times happens with this whole New Year energy. And so what I'm inviting us all to is a very different take on that. That instead of avoiding, we're really willing to go deeper into that space. There is no more perfect time for this than at this end of the year. That can be a culmination of so many things. Esther Hicks talks a lot about how the buoyancy in your natural state is like a cork floating in the water. If you hold it down, you suppress your joy and you suppress your freedom and you suppress your vibrant health. But it doesn't take work to let the cork rise to the surface. You just stop holding it down. It's going to float up. And that's why even just like 10 minutes of just still, calm breathing. Take a deep breath right now. And then let everything go. A moment of that or 10 minutes of that can allow you to come back into that natural state. It doesn't need to be work. You don't need to try to be happy or try to have more freedom or try to have more love or resources or or anything. You can simply allow the release of what you're holding. And so that's what happens through embracing the darkness is, okay, I'm going to meet these spaces. I'm going to embrace that. Feeling what you feel in your physical body, for me, has been a huge portal for that. Because a lot of times we don't even know what we're thinking mentally. We don't know what we're feeling emotionally. But if we connect with the physical body, like touch your neck on your, skin to skin, or touch your arm and just ground yourself like, I'm right here. It's okay. I'm here. I'm going to feel what I feel. Put your hand on your heart and breathe. Take a deep breath. Be willing to be present to what's happening physically, and that will allow you to go deeper into embracing the energies that are ready to arise. And we'll do a little bit with this as well. Gail, I'm going to share in the Facebook group of how we can discuss privately. Yogi Dai says a simple "you can do it" would go a long way. Sometimes that is helpful. Sometimes, especially when we're in depression, it's like, yeah, whatever. I don't want to hear this fluffy positive crap. And that's why it's like, don't avoid what you're feeling. Be willing to go deeper. Don't try to put ice cream on top of poop, which is what like the whole positive thinking thing is. It's like, let me just got to be positive. Well, that's crap. There are deep spaces to be met. And just like when you approach a child, okay, come on, I want you to be happy. I'll accept you when you're happy. It's like we're telling that to ourselves. That's why depression can persist and persist and persist. It's like it's not going anywhere. These are parts of you to be met with love. Linda, I've been compulsively driven to constantly study more and more about what I should or should not eat, what I should or should not take as supplements. I'm going to interject there. That happens for so many of us because we're trying so hard to avoid feeling what we're feeling depression, feeling anxiety and fear, feeling the heaviness of a physical body that's overweight or carrying shame or carrying wrongness. Like you eat food and it's like, I shouldn't be eating this, but, and then we go into this like wrongness and we choose it at the same time. So when you free yourself, it's like, choose your choice. I'm going to eat this and I'm going to just allow myself to receive it. Now that isn't necessarily, we think, but there are certain things that are bad and I shouldn't eat this and I shouldn't eat that. It's more about getting out of wrongness and shame and more about allowing and embracing all that is. If you're going to make the choice to eat a chocolate cake, get on board for yourself making that choice, because that'll actually shift what's happening physiologically in your body. So when you get out of the judgment or the escape, it won't be this compulsion to study more and more. What should I do? What should I not do? So we'll do an exercise today to kind of feel into the physical body so you can really meet what's coming up instead of trying to escape it through these compulsions. I now take about 40 supplements and hormones. I do coffee enemas every day. I eat a keto diet and I'm still sick and so limited. Yeah, it might be a quick fix for something, but it won't actually get to the root of the problem. She says, I've been watching you and tapping for about 3 weeks now. Would it be an act of faith or foolishness to stop all of this work I'm doing and only listen to the wisdom of my body? That's a great question, because sometimes people think, I'm going to go to one extreme or the other. I'm going to stop taking all my medications and supplements. I'm going to stop checking my blood sugar because I'm going to heal myself. And that's just so not, so not aligned with wisdom. When we start listening to our wisdom, we can start from wherever we are. You don't have to make this radical, rebellious thing to push against anything. You can simply incorporate something new, something deeper. And then it might guide you like, oh, I'm just not feeling that supplement anymore. I'm aware it's not really necessary and that I'm now connecting with something deeper where my body's receiving what it needs from a different source. Or you may have the awareness of, oh, there's this other practitioner I could go to or a supplement. Like, it might actually be adding something in. It doesn't mean because I'm connecting with my wisdom, I don't need anyone and I don't need anything and I'm not going to use any medications and I'm not going to have any procedures. And so we do that same duality with right and wrong, good and bad, and judgment when we go into conclusion around that. And really the invitation is just to receive more, to let yourself nurture your body in a new way from a deeper space. So feeling into what comes up, and we'll go through this exercise now for all of us. If you feel into something you've been struggling with. So whether it's been food, body, your weight, other people around you, because we're a lot of times at this time of year with family, with friends, or with old grief and loss of like, oh, I'm alone again on Christmas, or I still don't have my ideal lover, or my mother's still driving me crazy, or this person who died and I still miss them and I haven't really completed with that. So feel what it is for you and just take a few deep breaths and close your eyes and let yourself feel your physical body as you connect with this experience, as you connect with this grief or depression or heaviness or whatever it is that's coming up. Let yourself connect with it fully. There's nowhere else to go right now. If you're driving a car, you could actually just pull over and take a moment to let yourself be present to what you're experiencing. Feel your physical body. There are a lot of really cool practices for this, like Qigong, where you kind of put some force into the body, and it's like wake up body. You wake up, you clear your electromagnetic fields, you let your body, it's like shaking out a rug, release a lot of electromagnetic energy. It's great if you do it right over your top of your chest where your thymus is. If you're getting sick or you're fatigued and lethargic, it's like, I'm going to wake myself up. So that can be a way to help as you breathe to anchor your presence in your physical body, especially if you do it on your feet, on your legs, on your hips, on your butt. You're anchoring yourself deep down into your body so you can start to be present to like what's happening in here. You don't need to live out there. You can actually begin to live in the present moment in a really powerful way. And so now I want you to just breathe and really be willing to feel into that darkness. Feel into that, maybe it's fear or anxiety or depression or just the unknown or whatever the despair may be, the grief may be. If you're judging yourself, oh, I ate so much over the holiday, I'm so bad, I'm a bad person, I have so much work to do, or whatever, just be willing to sit in this space. Yes, you will float back up to the top of the surface, like the cork, with the new year, with the new energy coming in. But the more you meet the heavy, dark space of where life invites us to right now, the more that buoyancy will come effortlessly because there's no more resistance. So just sit with your body and be willing to feel, what do I feel in my body? And then I would love to hear your comments on this. What do you notice? Nicole says, I feel so much chaos in my head and my mind, it will not shut off. It goes nonstop no matter what I try. I can't hear or feel what's really going on. Well, so release the I can't hear or feel what's really going on, because what's going on is the chaos. So just be willing to say, oh, wow, I'm just going to notice that. That is what's going on. You're noticing what's going on. Give yourself the space to have that be all that's there, and don't make it wrong. Don't push it away. So, wow, just appreciate. You can appreciate it infinitely, right? Wow, there's so much chaos in my head. Wow, it really is so intense. It won't shut off. I breathe in. I breathe out. And I have a new moment. And that new moment may be something more of the same. I'm noticing even deeper levels of it. I'm noticing it with even more willingness. I'm noticing it with even more presence. It doesn't matter. Can you stay present to what's arising? Or you can make it wrong or try to avoid it or try to get to the thing that you think is the right thing that you're supposed to be feeling, which is so crazy. Like, let that go. That old way of being is keeping you sick, is blocking healing. So Gail says, this deeper space you speak of, are you meaning to align with source, all that is, the consciousness of who we are, an extension of? Yes, essentially that is exactly what we do when we become more present, and we can use the portal of the physical body to do that. How many ways we make the physical experience wrong, we make the physical body wrong. No, I want to have a spiritual experience. I want to have this kind of experience because that's the right experience. Just like Nicole, I want to shut it off and feel what's really going on. And it's like, wait. This is what's really going on. This is it. You start there, you presence that, and that really awakens the brain, the mind, your entire system to perceive more. But if we're rejecting what we experience, That's not going to happen. So yes, we connect with the space of all that is. Mora, beautiful Mora, hello, says, I feel sadness in my heart. So that's a beautiful thing. If you've ever seen the movie Inside Out, it's a Pixar movie. It's a kind of a kid's movie, but it's like everyone should see this movie. The premise, you have all these different characters, anger, disgust, and sadness, and joy, and fear, and they're all personified with a character. So this starts out with joy, and everything's joyful, and the little baby's born, and inside the baby is this character of joy. And then as the baby progresses through life, more characters get integrated. The baby also has anger, and the baby also has fear, and they kind of have all these different roles. But the crux of the movie is, what the heck is happening with sadness? The kid that they're all a part of inside is about to hit puberty. And so there's this whole thing happening, but they don't understand, like, what the heck is going on with sadness? So Joy tells sadness, all right, here's your job. You're going to stand inside the circle and don't move out of the circle, because sadness is kind of causing some problems here. We're supposed to be in joy. Joy is the real ultimate purpose. Maybe we have a moment of fear, maybe we have a moment of anger, but it's really all about joy. And they don't understand that sadness deepens joy. And so the way that the movie moves through, not to be a spoiler here, I guess this is like a little spoiler alert, but that they do find this amazing, beautiful, powerful purpose of sadness. And sadness is like, I don't know why I'm doing these things. I can't control myself. And it's like this wrongness, right? So like, stay inside the circle. But they end up getting lost and having this whole adventure, and it ultimately comes out that joy begins to embrace sadness, and that you realize sadness deepens joy. The girl has an experience where, oh yeah, that was one of our most amazing memories, and that was one of the most joyful moments in my life. And then sadness says, oh yeah, I remember. It was right after this other thing happened, So it was right after the girl was really, really sad and thought that she'd failed, and then all her friends came to celebrate her and tell her, no, you actually did this amazing thing, and the joy was deepened because of the sadness. So you start to see that they are inextricably linked, that as we mature, we can deepen into joy through embracing sadness, through embracing fear, through embracing anger, through embracing all of the different parts. Not through, I just got to be in joy. I'm getting better at joy. Oh, I'm so good at just doing joy and avoiding all these other things. No. So it's a really beautiful depiction of that. So thank you, Mora, for allowing yourself to feel the sadness, because that opens you to more joy. Linda says, I've developed a totally familiar headache pain. Left side of the head, down to the left arm. Embracing and letting go. Still trying to grasp that with my brain, maybe. Yeah, I had a similar experience for, it's like a couple decades of this really severe pain through my neck, and headaches and all kinds of things. And whenever I would, I tried lots of things to assist my body with like chiropractic or Reiki, you name it. Medications, because when it would be really severe, I would take some ibuprofen and that would really help. But I kind of always knew there's something underlying that I want to address. Acupuncture, all kinds of things I did. And there was a point where I was like, all right, doing these things, kind of trying to chase it, doesn't feel aligned anymore. It feels like I'm just trying to make this thing go away. Let's just be more and more present to what I'm experiencing. And as I've done that, it's always allowed me to just go deeper into allowing, so that even when I have the pain, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, it's one thing to have pain. It's another thing to have the pain and not want to be in pain, to have the pain and be in fear that it will never go away, to have the pain and be in despair that you're still experiencing this thing. What's wrong with me? So that adds a whole other layer to it. So when I release that whole layer of like, okay, I have this pain and I'm willing to have this pain. I'm willing to feel it more fully and embrace it more. What does it have to share with me? What does it maybe have as a message for me? And explore it and let it be there. Yes, you can still do some things to treat it and help yourself through it. But that level of willingness will certainly allow a lot of the things that keep it in place to be released. So definitely invite you to that. Thank you for the love. Best way to embrace fear. Yeah, same thing. For me, And Randy's asking, is this great for releasing trauma? Yes, yes, yes. For me, when I've really moved into my biggest expansion of more abundance, more freedom in my life, because my life was really inviting me to more freedom, but I had these conclusions about, no, I should be working more. I should be productive. I should be doing more. And it was very clear, like, no, Cam, let go and let in more space. This is what you really want. There was so much fear I had to move through in order to embrace the lifestyle I now have, which is like working part-time, taking a hike a few times a week, doing yoga when I want to go to yoga, enjoying my friends. I'm going to be with friends and with my daughter and our kids today, and like we'll be outside taking a nice hike. It's still really beautiful here in Colorado. We have not gotten a lot of snow, but it's just gorgeous. And that's what I wanted, but I thought I needed to achieve or attain all these things, and then I could have this freedom. And life was like, Kim, just let go. It's here now, receive it. But there was so much fear I had to move through in order to be comfortable with that. And so one of my mentors, Sylvia Olivier of Golden Heart Wisdom, who I just am so grateful for, taught me to ground my body. And it was really, really, really hard to walk through the intensity of fear that was there. But I would just gently touch, slowly, skin on skin, touching my body to let my body know. Because this will actually increase your dopamine levels, increase your oxytocin levels, decrease your stress hormone, decrease your cortisol levels, just to physically touch your body. We do this instinctively with a child. If the child's upset or crying and you're like, okay, I'm here, I love you, and you just physically touch that child, it allows their system to settle down. So can you do that? Can you just be present? It was really hard, but the fear was a reminder. It's like, Kim, this fear is not real. You can let it go, and you can let something new come in. So I would do this just obsessively, very lovingly. I would just do this as my go-to. Instead of what was really the compulsion was, let me go do work. Let me go, plug in and create something, like try to be productive as a way to avoid what I was feeling. So instead, being fully present to the fear and letting my body know, I see you, it's okay, I'm here, you can let this go. So it's like, body, you can let this go. You can let go of this energy you've been holding. What happens is in the brain, in the amygdala, the physical body is trained to hold this. I'm not okay. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go. I got to look for the answer. I got to look for the solution. I got to escape. I got to get away. It's trained. So you've got to practice a new training. It's like, oh wait, I really can just be here. I really can just feel this. I really can allow this and let it move through. And that's what embracing the darkness is all about. Is allowing things to be embraced so that they can move through. All right. So thank you for asking that, Gail. Linda says, thank you. Gail says, do you believe in mind over matter? The way I was trying to use mind over matter was totally backwards. I was trying to heal from an illness, and it's like, I'm creating this on some level. I should do better. Why am I doing this? Like, I was making myself wrong. And I was trying to work harder at healing because I'm like, okay, I can overcome this. I'm not tired. I'm energized. I feel good. I'm not going to surrender to the fatigue because I thought it would get worse. So I was trying to power my way through it, which is a lot of times what people do with this mind over matter thing. And that doesn't work. So we actually need to embrace matter and embrace the physical form and embrace all the energy that's in it right now, what we're feeling, in order to allow it to release. So it's not that I'm healing myself, like I thought, mind over matter, I'm going to heal myself. I am simply allowing a release so that I can receive healing. Healing is my natural state. I don't need to achieve it or attain it or make it happen. I can embrace all that I'm feeling so that something lighter can come in, so that my natural state can be restored. So I would be a little careful with how that's thought of with the mind over matter thing. It's actually something deeper that's going on. All right, I want to look for any other comments or questions people are sharing. For those of you in the Addicted to Yoga fan page, thank you for joining us. I can be found in my community is the MindBody community, where I kind of address questions personally, and we'll go in and answer questions people have about this, about self-healing, about expansion into more freedom and joy, about depression, or whatever is coming up for you. The Instant Elevation program is really the signature program to allow yourself to integrate this into deeper and deeper levels. It is very, very, very powerful what it does for your physical body, and also what it does for your life, what it does in opening things up in your relationships, your way of seeing, your way of being, your way of experiencing everything. So that's at drkimd.com/IEP. That's the Instant Elevation Program. Certainly subscribe at drkimd.com if you're interested in more, because I share lots of videos and all kinds of things that, answering questions and things like that. I have the 21-day health and fitness challenge that'll be coming out in the new year, which is a really beautiful way of like aligning with source, aligning with what lets the body heal to expand into health and fitness, as opposed to fixing it, changing it, getting more disciplined, learning. I got to learn more. You're going to unlearn. And that's like a free thing that we have going on in January. So certainly subscribe at drkimd.com if you would like that. And then we have a holiday gift for you. It's drkimd.com/holiday. And that is an audio that will just bring you through a really beautiful integration to allow your physical body to release those energies you've been holding, to release grief and despair or any tension or just old ideas that you've had that might be really ingrained about what you think needs to happen in order for you to heal. Once you release a lot of those conclusions, there's so much more available, so much more freedom. So that's drkimd.com/holiday, and it's a free audio that you can download to bring you through that short exercise. It's something that I do every day to it's like a shower for your electromagnetic field, a shower for your energy chakras, for your physical body. It's really, really powerful. So drkimd.com/holiday is where you can download that. I'll include the link in the Facebook Live comments as well. And I look forward to any other questions that come up. So welcome for all of you who are listening to the recording or to the podcast. And I will certainly check in here for comments that you have shared later. I will be here each Wednesday from MindBody TV at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern. I think that's right. Yes. To share, and we'll usually post ahead of time what's coming up, what topics there are, but certainly I welcome your questions and comments about what you would like to hear. And you can find me again at drkimd.com, sharing so much love with you as we kind of come into this completion of the holidays, of the end of the year. Just let yourself move through that calibration stage. It won't feel comfortable, but it is the most powerful expansion that we can meet. So sending so much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.